Alright, folks, we are now in the month of December, and this is where we begin our first glance at some Critics Group wins and nominations. Now, I am recording this freshly off the National Board of Review winners and the Film Independent Spirit Award nominations, but the main focus is, obviously, as you can tell by this video, my Golden Globe nomination prediction. This is my first time doing the nomination predictions at the Golden Globes. Now, this could either go well or not that great, because I know many people probably did not do great with the Film Independent Spirit Award nomination predictions, because obviously they always go something weird that doesn't go into, like, they obviously go very early with their nominations, and then it looks completely odd when we get closer to Oscars night specifically and see who actually got nominated and who have won. Now, I did a nomination predictions for the Spirit Awards, but I didn't have time to do a video, and it was kind of a last-minute thing that was added on the Awards Expert app, which you can follow me in that at Bright Growl. And this is obviously one of the shows that you can do early predictions on for a few months. Same thing with Critics' Choice and the BAFTAs, SAG, Producers Guild, and Directors Guild. So that's what we're doing. Now, obviously, this is only on the film side. We don't do television on this channel whatsoever. If you want to probably find someone who does television predictions in the Golden Globes, then find that. But this is only devoted to the movie side. 14 categories to be precise. Now, I also would like to give a little bit of a heads-up information that some of my acting predictions may be a bit odd, but there will be an explanation to it. If you might have seen the thumbnail, you might know where I'm going with this. The nominations will be coming out this Monday, so let's start this up with the Dumb Box Office and Cinematic Achievement Award. Yeah, I don't know why. This is stupid. They should have done the revived the motion picture documentary category, but I don't know why. I have Beetlejuice, Deadpool and Wolverine, Dune Part 2, Gladiator 2, Godzilla and Kong, The New Empire, Inside Out 2, Moana 2, and Wicked. For original song, I have Ain't No Love in Oklahoma from Twisters, Compress Repress from Challengers, El Camino from Amelia Perez, Kiss the Sky from The Wild Robot, Like a Bird from Sing Sing, and Mi Camino from Amelia Perez. Now, these are just kind of like some guesses and are not, because obviously we are not going to know what's going to make it to the Oscar shortlist. So, yeah, I haven't really started doing predictions fully on original song and score, or like some of the other technical categories that do have shortlists, because I'm wanting to wait to see who makes it. But at the moment, I feel like the two Amelia Perez songs, and probably the one from Sing Sing and Kiss the Sky, would be the most likely ones to get on the shortlist. All 6 of them could be on the shortlist in general. For original score, I have The Brutalist, Challengers, Conclave, Amelia Perez, The Room Next Door, and The Wild Robot. Now, I know that there was the discussion whether Dune Part 2 was going to be ruled ineligible at the Oscars. Now, I've heard that Warner Brothers is trying to appeal on that. I have not heard much. I don't know if it is going to be eligible or not, specifically at like the Golden Globes or Critics' Choice. I know like Birdman, The Revenant, and Arrival all got in here despite of their Oscars ineligibility. So there is a possibility Dune Part 2 could actually show up. But it's just like, when you compare eligibility for the Globes, Critics' Choice, BAFTAs, and the Oscars, it is completely different amongst each other. For Screenplay, other than the Film Independent Spirit Awards, they combine the Screenplay categories here. I have Nora, The Brutalist, Conclave, A Real Pain, Sing Sing, and The Substance. I know there might be some movies I'm missing here. I think Nickel Boys, I probably maybe should have put in here, but like, I have to really think, because this is more of a critics voting audience, critics in the industry audience, than the actual film industry, because Golden Globes and Critics' Choice, most of the time, some of their nominations might not matter. And it's just like, I have to feel like sometimes they don't know, like the films that get in Screenplay, some of them don't get in for director. So like there are some occasions, like I have like I think only 4 of them getting in for director. So the 2 that kind of are the standouts for me are A Real Pain and Sing Sing. And plus, they don't like to nominate multiple writers here. And I know Sing Sing has a lot of story credits, but they don't nominate the story people. I know the BAFTAs will be starting to for this upcoming season. For supporting actress, I have Danielle Deadwyler in The Piano Lesson, Anjanou Ellis-Taylor in Nickel Boys, Selena Gomez in Amelia Perez, Felicity Jones in The Brutalist, Saoirse Ronan in Blitz, and Zoe Saldana in her lead performance in Amelia Perez. Now, you might be wondering, where's Ariana Grande? Where's Ariana Grande? Where's Ariana Grande? Well, we'll get to that in another category. I know that might be a big move, but if you remember, if you saw the thumbnail, I might be doing a risky move. So I didn't put Zeldana. I will discuss that more when we get into the leading categories. So, I know that when I did my last Oscar nomination prediction video, I did not know the reactions from Amelia Perez went a little bit downhill for the general audience. Like, a lot of the general public and general critics are just having okay receptions to the movie compared to the festival reactions we got at Cannes, Telluride, and especially at TIFF. But obviously, I kind of feel confident because they do like to nominate a lot of recognizable faces. Although I really should have put Nickel Boys in Screenplay, I do have Anjanou Ellis because I feel like she could get nominated probably in a couple places for the film. Like, I think she didn't even get the Spirit Awards, if I'm not mistaken. So, that's the thing. Since I am making a bit of a risky move of putting somebody in leading, that's why I still have Zoe Saldana as the frontrunner just here at the Globes. I know that Grande's now considered the frontrunner in the supporting actress category. 2 potential lead performances in front stages for supporting Oscars, which is ridiculous. But at the Globes, I feel like they are going to category fraud Zoe Saldana, but not Ariana Grande, and that will explain here when we get to the leading categories, as I stated. For supporting actor, I have Harris Dickinson in Baby Girl, Clarence Macklin in Sing Sing, Edward Norton in A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce in The Brutalist, Stanley Tucci in Conclave, and Denzel Washington in Gladiator 2. Like Ariana Grande, you're going to ask, where's Kieran Culkin? Where's Kieran Culkin? Where's Kieran Culkin? I also have done that same thing, like with Grande. I did the same thing with Kieran Culkin here. So because of what I did with Culkin, I still have Macklin at front here at the Globes if the Globes do something, which we'll be getting into. Now, I can almost see Denzel actually winning the Globe because obviously he hasn't really, I don't know if he, like, I know he didn't win for Training Day, obviously not for Fences. Does he only have the one win for Glory? I can almost see Denzel just winning this, like, because there happened a couple of times, a couple of wins in the supporting categories. They do win without the film getting in the motion picture, drama, or comedy or musical category, and supporting actor is kind of a great example in this. I mean, they didn't even nominate Judas and the Black Messiah for motion picture drama, but then again, that was a late release. Because with all the praises Nicole Kidman's beginning in for Baby Girl, and I might be considering of adding her in my lead actress Oscar predictions, but since I just made this decision, but that's kind of fresh of hearing her winning National Board of Review, I feel like Harris Dickinson could kind of have a little bit of an edge, especially like in the lower slot. If people are seeing Baby Girl because of Kidman, maybe they might see how Harris Dickinson does for his performance as well. I know that there are some other notable people here that are not here. Like, obviously, since this is a Globes, they really could probably be the best performance for challengers, I'm guessing. I know Yora Borisov kind of really would make sense for the Love for Nora, but I feel like Yoris Borisov would make more sense, like, at the BAFTAs, and obviously he got in the Spirit Awards, but not, like, at Critics' Awards of the Globes. I don't know about SAG. And this, even though I know there might be a lot of voters that might not want to nominate Sebastian Stan for actor in a drama, I could still see Germany Strong still making it here. For actress in a musical or comedy, I have Carla Sofia Gascon in Amelia Perez, Ariana Grande in Wicked, which I'll get into, Cynthia Erivo in Wicked, Mikey Madison in Anora, Demi Moore in The Substance, and Zendaya in Challengers. So, I am doing a risky move in predicting Ariana Grande to go in leading here at the Globes with Cynthia Erivo, because here's the thing. if you look at the Globes' history, they are notable for putting some actors in the right category. Like, if they've been going supporting all season, sometimes the Globes might put them in leading. I know it didn't happen for, like, Daniel Kaluuya in Judas and the Black Messiah or Emma Stone in The Favorite, but they have done it in the past, like with Rooney Mara and Carol and Alicia Vikander in The Danish Girl. Both of them went supporting the Oscars, but the Globes did nominate them for actress in a drama. And although he did not get nominated for supporting actor, Hugh Grant did went in leading here at the Globes for actor in a comedy or musical for Florence Foster Jenkins. They're also notable for putting some supporting performances in the comedy or musical categories, like Emily Blunt in Into the Woods, Helen Mirren of The Hunter for Journey, technically Emily Blunt and Lin-Manuel Miranda in Mary Poppins Returns, Christian Bale and Steve Carell in The Big Short, since I consider that more of an ensemble piece. Heck, even way back, they nominated Catherine Zeta-Jones leading for Chicago with Renee Zellweger in the category. So it is a possibility because the Globes kind of have... Oh yeah, and they even nominated Maria Bakalova in leading here for Borat's subsequent movie film. And because I feel like since they are notable for doing a lot of category frauds, well, although this is a legit lead performance, but I can see them putting, like, her in leading here, and this is probably the only place I could actually see the Globes put Ariana Grande in leading here. And she could potentially might win, but since I have more of Nora being the potential frontrunner in the musical or comedy category at the moment, it is a higher possibility, but the Globes could just be, like, over-nominating Wicked, but I almost feel like Wicked's going to be Barbie all over again this season. But I am going to be doing the risky move here, but because the Globes have a lot of history with category placements, some leading performances going in leading, and putting some supporting performances going in leading, especially in the comedy or musical categories, I feel like it would make sense to put Grande here in leading. So I am going to make a risky move on that. So I know many people are going to be wrong on that, but obviously everyone agrees she is leading, and this is the one place I do think makes the most sense. Now, I could have also done this with Zoe Saldana, but I feel like the Globes would category fraud her and not Grande, because when you look at the competition, if Saldana would get in, it would be kind of hard, because obviously you have the two Wicked stars, you have Demi Moore in a supposed dramatic performance, Mikey Madison out front, maybe Carlos Sevilla Gascon. I would not be surprised if the Globes put her in supporting and Saldana in leading. And you have to put in Zendaya, obviously, because of who she is. And with me putting Ariana Grande in leading here at the Globes, I did the same thing with one person here. For actor in a comedy, in general, because none of these are musicals, Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain, Jesse Eisenberg in A Real Pain, Gabriel LaBelle in Saturday Night, Glenn Powell in Hitman, Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool and Wolverine, and Sebastian Stan in A Different Man. Like with Grande, I am also putting a move of putting Kieran Culkin here for leading. Because, once again, I could see the Globes doing something like this. And, unlike with Grande, if she would go in leading, she would have to compete with Mikey Madison. If they do put Culkin in leading, I still think Culkin would actually win this. Now, many people do have Culkin as the new supporting actor frontrunner. He did win National Board of Review. He might get a lot of critics' prizes. And if he does sweep supporting actor throughout the season, once again, another lead performance, it would not be surprising. But I could still see him, if they do put him in leading, I can still see him winning here. Because when you look at the other candidates, most of them might not actually appear at the Oscars. Like, Glenn Powell maybe at some places. Like, if they put Culkin in supporting, Glenn Powell would have been in my place. But you also have, like, other candidates. And I know it's odd for me not putting Michael Keaton in here for Beetlejuice, when I'm predicting that for the Dumb Box Office and Cinematic Achievement Award. So, yeah, I'm going to call it that dumb category throughout the entirety of the Globes. But I just have that feeling with the Globes' history, I can see them doing something like that. So, even though I didn't do it with Saldana, I'm putting Ariana Grande and Kieran Culkin as a lead. So, it's going to be a big risky move, but let's see if that happens. For actress in a drama, I have Marion Jean-Baptiste in Hard Truths, Angelina Jolie in Maria, Nicole Kidman in Baby Girl, Saoirse Ronan in The Outrun, Tilda Swinton in The Room Next Door, and Fernando Torres in I'm Still Here. I know many people are still eyeing me on, like, I still have Ronan at the potential Best Actress frontrunner, but that might not happen. But when you look at a span of 6 nominations, yeah, she feels fine. Now, I did originally had the double for The Room Next Door with both putting in both Tilda Swinton and Julianne Moore in here, because they are notable for double nominating the same performances. No, double nominating people in leading as well, not just at comedy or musical, but even at the drama category with Carol, with Cate Blanchett and Rooney Mara. So it is a possibility that it could happen that Moore could get nominated for Swinton. But I switched in the last minute to put Fernando Torres in here because since they nominated Alma Poisty last year for actress in a comedy for Fallen Leaves, I can see the Globes doing something like that and nominating Fernando Torres here. I'm confident in all the other 5 here. I mean, Tilda Swinton, they have frequently nominated her. Kidman, the Globes love her so much. Like, I can almost, like, she even won for being the Ricardos. If she keeps winning a lot of critics' prizes, I would not be surprised if she wins the Globe over Ronan or Jolie. But I feel like I'm still going with this Ronan career win for some reason. But, like, I could have just even took Ronan out and put Julianne Moore in here. But, like, some good performances in some decent movies do sometimes get in the acting categories, like Nyad last year with Annette Bening and Jodie Foster. So I guess that counts. For actor in a drama, I have what is to be our Oscar 5 plus a random one. Adrian Brody in The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet in A Complete Unknown, Daniel Craig in Queer, Colman Domingo in Sing Sing, Ray Fiennes in Conclave, and Nicholas Hoult in Juror Number 2. Now, that's probably the random nomination, I think, acting nomination in general the Globes would do. And the Globes are notable for nominating some Clint Eastwood performances that sometimes do go to the Oscars, like Kathy Bates and Richard Jewell, or sometimes they don't, like Leonardo DiCaprio and J. Edgar. I thought they did nominate Tom Hanks and Sully, but no, they didn't. It was like 4 of the Oscar nominees plus Joe Edgerton in Loving. So I feel like since they're obviously not going to nominate Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice, although he did got in at the Spirit Awards, it is a possibility since this is more of an international voting process, but I think the BAFTAs would do it more than any other American awards show. And it is interesting that even though I ought to say this, obviously Chalamet also has Dune Part 2, but I would like to mention that you are with the Globes and the BAFTAs, you are allowed to be double nominated in the same acting category in the same year for 2 different performances. You can't do that at Critics' Choice, SAG, or the Oscars. You can do that at the BAFTAs and the Golden Globes. And that happened before with Leonardo DiCaprio. He got in for actor and drama for both Blood Diamond and The Departed. And even Johnny Depp in the comedy or musical category for his supporting performance in Alice in Wonderland and the dramatic movie The Tourist. But Dune Part 2 is nowhere in the levels of acting categories. I just have that as a possibility. I know Paul Mescal probably makes the most sense to go with it, but I feel like they're going to have to at least nominate Juror Number 2 somewhere. And I feel like Nicholas Hoult might be the candidate. For director, I have Sean Baker for Anora, Brady Corbett for The Brutalist, Edward Berger for Conclave, Denis Villeneuve for Dune Part 2, Corleone for Jacques for The Substance, and John M. Chu for Wicked. Corbett might be more of a now of the bigger question mark if he is or isn't the front runner, because The Brutalist had no showings at the National Board of Review, and it really did not do well at the Spirit Awards. But then again, as I mentioned, their nominations sometimes go weird, and Corbett was their only nomination. But it's just that it is a late bloomer for its official theatrical run. It's just that I'm kind of a little bit more confident as the A24 candidate, because I am more confident of Denis Villeneuve getting in here, Critics' Choice, and DGA more than anyone else. I think I've stated that in my director's predictions at my last Oscar nomination prediction video. So, yeah, I feel like the whole Wicked thing is going to be a big deal. Now, if the Globe voting process was like it was before it like, wasn't from last year, if it was like when they gave Steven Spielberg the win for director for The Fabelmans, I would have easily would have put in Clint Eastwood in here for juror number 2, because the Globes have nominated Eastwood quite a bit in the directing category. They double nominated him for Flags of Our Fathers and Letters from Iwo Jima. Obviously, they gave him the win for $1 Million Baby. He even got in for Invictus. You can even say Ridley Scott is also in the question mark as well, because obviously he was up for The Martian, and I think he was even up for Gladiator, but he was even nominated here for All the Money in the World. So there is a possibility. Now, kicking Jacques Audiard out is probably a big, massive mistake, and he would probably get in over somebody like Brady Corbett, I would say, based on where everything's going. But it's just like, since this is more of a critics industry voting process, like the Critics' Choice Awards, there might not be a high passion for it, even though it is a non-English film. And with A Complete Unknown getting a little bit more of a praises a bit, maybe James Mangold might get in the conversation. On to the motion picture category. So for Best Motion Picture Non-English Language, I have DD from the United States, because obviously, unlike the Oscars specifically, U.S. non-English films do get in the Golden Globes and even at Critics' Choice. You can understand the BAFTAs, of course. It makes sense, because we're an international country to them, but well, obviously they are going to do it. Like, Past Lives got in here last year, which does make sense after seeing it, because there is a lot more Korean in it than it is in English, but I wouldn't say that about Anatomy of a Fall. But yeah, Didi from the United States, Amelia Perez from France, I'm Still Here from Brazil, Kneecap from Ireland, The Seed of the Sacred Fig from Iran, because we can say that, because obviously there is no submissions here for the Golden Globes or even Critics' Choice or the BAFTAs, it's just the Oscars in general, and Universal Language from Canada. Might be a bit straightforward, but it might be the 6th. I know All We Imagine Is Light from India is definitely a big hit, but obviously, since it can't knock into the Oscars because it was neither submitted by France or India, might have a hard time, even though it did got in the Spirit Awards, but I feel like I'm kind of confident in these 6. For Motion Picture Animated, I have Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Moana 2, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild Robot. So I have the obvious 5 plus Moana 2, because here's the thing. I was not going to go with Moana 2 in general, but since I'm predicting it for the Dumb Box Office and Cinematic Achievement Award, I had to put it in here, because Piece by Piece would have been my original 6th pick, but because of the box office category, and since they nominated Wish last year, I feel like Moana 2 would definitely make it in here. Now, there is a possibility, even though it wasn't in the animated submission list since Disney did not submit it, the 2019 remake of The Lion King did got in here, so Mufasa the Lion King could actually show up here, even though no one hasn't seen it yet. Transformers 1, that's probably more of a Critics' Choice and PGA thing. And the one that's obviously the question mark is The Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim. That's obviously another one that not a lot of people have seen, if you're not counting early screeners. But I feel like I'm confident with the 5, because I was a little bit hesitant of not going with Flow or Memoir of a Snail. But then again, they have been starting to nominate more indie movies, like My Sunny Maud, or Inuo, and or Suzume last year. So, like, with that, they can even nominate, although I don't have it here, Look Back, which is G Kids' top candidate, but I feel like there are 2 stronger indie movies that were more likely to get in. But this is the 6. It's the obvious Oscars top 5 plus Moana. For Motion Picture Musical or Comedy, I have Anora, Challengers, Amelia Perez, A Real Pain, the supposed dramatic movie The Substance, and Wicked. I almost really should have put Wicked at number 1, because the Globes are kind of notable for giving some musicals the win. Like, obviously Chicago did, but like, Les Miserables did. So, but since I have almost like Wicked is almost feeling like it's Barbie all over again, and since Barbie did not win the Motion Picture Musical or Comedy category, that could be a possibility. But the difference is Wicked is more of a late bloomer, because it came out in November when Barbie came out in the summer. I know Saturday Night should be in here, but because with Wicked being now a thing, that kind of took its chances out. And since I don't have Glenn Powell anymore as the Best Actor frontrunner, since I put Kieran Culkin in leading, Hitman kind of goes down. They will never nominate an animated movie for musical or comedy Like, I don't know if it's more comedic or is it more dramatic, because putting an animated film in motion picture drama might be difficult unless if you're a legit independent film, so that might be a thing. And then, like, Beetlejuice and Deadpool and Wolverine, that's just more for the dumb box office category. And A Different Man could have some passion, especially after winning Best Picture at Gotham. It should be a little bit more higher, but I feel like there might be some passion, but I just think the vote, I don't know when the voting ends, so, but I feel like I'm confident with the 6. I'm just a little bit odd with Emilia Perez at the moment, but, oh well. And finally, for motion picture drama, I have The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, The Room Next Door, and Sing Sing. I did almost put a glance of putting Juror number 2 in here as, like, the one random motion picture drama nomination that doesn't go to the Oscar, doesn't get an Oscar nomination for Best Picture, like If Beale Street Could Talk or The Two Popes, for a couple of good examples right there. But we have not seen that in a while. And I kind of had to put A Complete Unknown here with Chalamet getting this award. I know many people are probably looking in my eyes, looking why I'm going all in The Room Next Door, but since I have it for score and for Tilda Swinton, almost putting in for Julianne Moore, and since with this kind of expansion with 6 nominees, I'm kind of fine with it. It's just, I'm kind of more confident in the first 4 that I have ranked than the bottom 2. And with that, that kind of wraps up my Golden Globe nomination predictions. Next award show video will be my predictions for the Oscar Predictors, the Critics' Choice Awards, and see what nominations they're going to try to predict for the Oscars, since they are not actually a critics voting process. So, I don't think I won't be doing a reaction to the nominations, but this is just more of a guessing game. So, make sure you subscribe. And I know wearing a Christmas shirt is not something in common for this video, but I wear this for every live video I do for December, so let the nominations begin.